𝗏𝗵𝗲, good evening. So tonight the sun is setting. I am going to tell you a little story. And this story actually is going to have a point to it. So bear with me. And there's going to be a surprise ending to this video. Stay tuned. Okay. So once upon a time, there were these students and they were in an academy where it was military. So they had a written exam for their finals, and they also had what was called a practical exam where they were actually fighting. Now, there was a kid in the class that he was kind of the class clown. He was the most skilled physically, and he aced his written exam without even studying. He also had a wonderful trait of caring about his teammates, and there were many people in the class that had been touched by his life, and he kind of had given them back their determination and strength to go forward in the whole schooling process. But when it came time for the exam, this particular class clown, with all of his confidence, was just blowing it off. And he didn't even know what he wanted to be when he would graduate. He just wanted to hang out with his friends and be with his friends. So he was going to go ahead and take the test with everybody just because. So as the proctors began the exam, they said, come at us with everything you have because, well, we're not going to go easy on you. So you might as well come at us like you're going to try to kill us. So still, the class clown was kind of like, oh, you know, they're blowing smoke, whatever. Fast forward, everybody's being defeated. And the class clown goes after the top proctor, which is the most skilled military person. And he has him down on the ground, the proctor, and he's holding his arm. And he's telling this class clown that you and your class are horrible. You do not have what it takes. Until you get resolve, you're not going to make it. And I'm going to probably have to fail the whole class. So the kid still isn't getting it. So the proctor says, well, you have an opportunity to win, but because he had him like this, he's like, you'll have to actually break your arm. How much resolve do you have? Now, let me just tell you what resolve is. Resolve is firmly deciding on a course of action. So he knew that this class clown was just kind of going through the motions, and he told him, I don't care how much skill you have. I don't care how much smarts you have. I don't care about any of that. Even motivation. If you don't have resolve, you're not going to make it. Just then, two of his classmates come in and they knock the proctor over and they regroup. And where did I get this story from? Yes, anime. You know I love anime. But I had to turn it off, so I can't tell you what happens next. Because as I was watching it, I started to think about the word resolve and how powerful it is. So I started to think, how many of you are working a 9 to 5, just going through the motions, working for the weekend, living paycheck to paycheck, but deep down, there's something in you that wants more? How many of you have or stayed in a unhealthy relationship for a long time? You finally ended it, got a divorce, but you just can't seem to move on. You're flittering around, clueless on what to do next. You're hurting. Well, I began to think about this. What is the consistent factor in both of those stories? A lack of resolve. There's no course of action that's been firmly decided on. Well, what are you talking about? You're working a 9 to 5. There's something in you that wants more. But what are you doing? Do you have any idea of what you actually want? Do you have a course of action to get there? No, you don't. So 20 years go by and you're still at the same job, but you're that desire to want to do more, it's intensified, but you're still where you are because you didn't have your course of action decided. The relationship situation. you're going along in the relationship. It's unhealthy, but you don't want to step out on your own. You don't want to end it, but then it comes to an end. Okay, your world is shattered. You wonder why you can't seem to get on your feet. You wonder why these obstacles keep coming at you and you just can't, even with the 9 to 5, these obstacles just keep coming and you can't get your footing. It's because you lack resolve. You're newly divorced. You know deep down that you've got the power to be kick-ass. You want to prove him wrong, that you can make it on your own. But you don't have any resolve. You don't have a firmly decided course of action. So what happens? Well, number one, you flitter around and don't know what to do. Like I said, with the 9 to 5, you work for 20 years, still where you are. You get a divorce and you just can't seem to get it right and stand on your own 2 feet. The other thing is, when you lack resolve, the issues of life, just like in that story that I told you, you're going to get knocked to and fro, back and forth. Now, even if you have resolve, you can get knocked to and fro, but the knocking to and fro, it doesn't take you off course because you've decided on where you're headed. So you see, I just came by to tell you that anime is very powerful. No, okay, I'm just kidding. But no, it is. But no, I just want you to think about if there's an itty bitty part of you that knows you are not living your best life. Do you have resolve? Have you decided firmly on where you want to go? Keep your head up and keep moving forward.